Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gil. This is Rockin the Love, and we are having some technical difficulties today, so I apologize for that. There is some good news and a silver lining in it all, and that is a surprise visitor from out of town. Come on over. Who could it be? Wait, I'm Gil, and this is...
I'm Robyn, and we're together.
Yay!
I was trying to get in, but I couldn't get in on the right way. So here we are in the same box.
How are you all? Welcome to Rockin the Love. It is another Wednesday in June, middle of June. Wow, we're trucking right along, aren't we? Woo!
So today we are continuing our theme of the month, which was Boldly Go. And we're so excited to have our guest, Bonnie Gonzalez. And she will be talking with us a little bit about places she's boldly gone and places you too can boldly go. And we'll be catching up on all kinds of things like that. Unfortunately, Teresa Gonzalez was going to be here and she is under the weather. So we're sending out lots of hugs and love and prayers to Teresa because we know she would have had so much input. So she's not going to get away, though. We're going to have her on another time.
You know what? She seems to have a little aversion to speaking on some things.
She does.
I think we're going to have to give her a bad time about that.
Anyway, so it's been a busy week.
Busy.
But I am here in Albuquerque in our new house. It's very exciting. It's very exciting to be in a new house. We stayed up till like 2 a.m. last night, looking at walls and going, yeah, we could do this here, that there. It was very fun. Very fun.
Sat on the back patio. It was beautiful. It's just great. Today, it's warm outside, though. So we're staying inside. We have air conditioning. It's all good.
It's all good.
Why are you here?
Well, I need to adjust how I'm sitting because...
You do. You do.
So you talk about why I'm here.
Okay, so we've mentioned this before, but we are embarking on a grand adventure with something at the center, at Rio Grande Center. And the biggest thing about it is we're opening up to the community for music every Friday night. And Robyn has been our project manager for this.
Yay, me!
Yay! And so this is our very first Friday night coming up.
It is. It's opening night. God knows I love an opening night. Yeah, it's opening night. It's very exciting. Y'all are going to have to come when you're in Albuquerque. We're having all kinds of music, different musical acts, and generally it is one act per night. This night we're having 2 people come, and Jim Jones, who is a Grammy-nominated storyteller, musician, and the Watermelon Jug Band.
Anyway, they're fascinating. I learned a lot about them yesterday. They've been around like 50 years. And then a couple of the people are original band members, but they started because they were making instruments out of household items, and so that's been their whole thing. Is virtually all of their instruments are out of household, or at least their major instruments are, and so it's kind of fascinating. And apparently, at one time, many years ago, they went on the road, they toured, they went around the country. And then they all decided that was crazy. They would go back to, most of them were teachers. They go back to teaching during the week and playing band on the weekends.
That almost sounds like a good news story.
Doesn't it? Yeah. It's kind of cool. And I don't know. I know they have a couple of people with them now, been with them like 20 years. So they're barely know how to be with the band, I guess. It's crazy. A lot of longevity there.
It's amazing, though. When you think about just holding that vision and being so clear to say, no, we're not going to do this around the country because it's too tiring and we got other things to do, But apparently they have a huge following here in New Mexico, and I'm excited to see who shows up because it sounds like they're a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, and I shared with you that I learned a lot of stuff, but that's because I had a gentleman stop by the office yesterday because, as he said, he's the unofficial president of the unofficial fan club for the band. And he wanted to be sure he knew how to get to our place so he could be there on Friday night. So that's the kind of that's the kind of folks they have.
Reserve him a spot.
That's right.
Table with his name.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. That's me, full of good ideas, and it's a super great idea that you all decided to join us today. If you're out there, say hello and write in the chat, even if it's recorded. Send us in the chat what you're thinking and what you'd like to see and what goes on for you on these topics. And it gives us some place to leap from when we're trying to decide what other shows should be about. Because really, if you have questions, that's what it's all about. Because our goal is to just show how in every situation the answer is to rock the love. It really is. No matter what it is, no matter what you're confused about, no matter what you're in pain about, no matter what you're mad about, and especially if you're mad, it's a good place to look to where can you put more love. So,
because it all comes from where?
Within.
Oh God, we can't get it from outside. We have to generate it. Oh my gosh. But it's true. And that's why it's all about relationship. How am I relating to my world, my people, my job, my whatever?
My spouse.
My spouse.
My partner.
My vehicular transportation. I know sometimes people have like a hate relationship with their car, and it doesn't always turn out so good.
Even your animals. Like I watch our godson with his dog, and when he doesn't feel good, she takes the brunt of it. I mean, he'll pull on her legs a little, or lay down hard on her, or whatever he does, whatever boys do. Yes, I was having a sexist generalization moment.
As you often do.
But boys, I'm gonna let that go. But there'll be another one coming for you. But boys do treat things differently. They're not, even babies. Like women freak out when you pick up a baby, because you pick up a baby and you're like, woo, but fully what you're doing. I don't trust that that's the case with our godson and the dog. But you've had time to at least hone your skills and make your choices. But you know what I mean. Anyway, it's just about where can you notice and be more in the love. So that said, one of the places we like to do that is with the good news.
With the good news, and there's always a lot of good news out there. So I just read an article about some folks, three guys that got together originally, and it's spread out, but they're all from Sikh background, and the tradition in Sikh is to practice the act of seva, which is to give service. And so what they've started is a drive-through food distribution thing. And they give people fresh vegetables and groceries, etc., to last them about 2 weeks. And people come in, they put it in their trunk, they put it in their hatchback, they whatever, and off the people go. And they literally have had people lined up waiting for them to open at 3 or 4 in the morning, and they don't start until 9:30.
Wow.
Which only indicated to them that there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the particular area they're in is kind of considered a food desert. They don't have any great grocery stores or anything like that. So, so now other people, other faiths and other things have gotten involved and help with it, and food banks are participating, and farms are participating, and all these different people. And they're looking at expanding into clothes and toys and adding some stuff as well. But, just hitting on the basics, and, so people can not be worried about that. I think that is quite incredible. And it's interesting that, we have these places with all that we have places where it's like hard to get good food.
Yeah, very true. My good news story, I didn't have one because it was going to be that I was here and I was going to pop in here and surprise you that I was here.
Which you did.
Which I did, but
Thank
out of
you.
order. Apparently there was another plan. But as you told that story, I thought about one of the good news stories that I had looked at recently. And I can't give you exact details, but I believe it's in Canada that they started a food co-op space. Same idea of distributing food, but they started it in like they have a market for it where people can come in and pick out their own things, because part of the what not I want to say part of the thing people don't like about it is that, you know, you get a box with rutabagas and things you don't
You
know
get
how to
asparagus
use.
and you go great, and I go no.
Yeah, I mean, but things that people either don't know how to use, and especially culturally, I know from having worked in the food studies that I've worked in with under the like people with not enough resources, under.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
What? Okay.
What good am I?
Oh, that's a whole nother show. No, people that can't, you know, don't have the resources that, you know, sometimes, especially culturally, you know, they don't know what to do with, I don't know, you know, things that we Americans, so to speak, naturally cook, you know.
Or for instance, I can think of something like, what would I do with bok choy and how would I prepare it? Because it's not a familiar vegetable to me. And that's the kind of thing that happens, is different cultures have different things that they use and they're used to. And so if you get a bunch of something you're not used to using, and how do you make it taste good for your
Right.
family and all that?
And shopping and putting your own choices in the cart really is on another level so self-esteem lifting for people that haven't been able to do that. So it sounds like there's a lot of consciousness and different things going out there.
Yeah, and different ways to approach it. But that one sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, and they said they were looking to open a couple of more stores. So yeah, that's great. That's great. And somehow it seems unfortunate to me that we even have to be in this situation, but
it is. And if we can focus more on how we can address that in ways that support people, how great it is. And in the midst of doing that, continue to look at our political landscape and how things, you know, how the ways that we try to support people who don't have actually end up being ways that we entrap them in not having.
Right.
You know, and how can we realign those things? In the meantime, we can offer ways that bring people up in the process, help people feel better and move toward a place where they can change their situation, or, you know, they can see the possibilities. So I think that's important.
it is important. So what you're saying in essence is to not focus on building a wall, so to speak.
So to speak, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to focus on that today. We're going to focus on leaping over walls and things that are possible and beautiful things that have been built up. So we're going to do that with our guest, Bonnie Gonzalez, who some of you know as the doula for grief. But today she is more than that. She is going to share her wisdom with us around all kinds of boldly going things. And we're going to talk a little bit about Lake Chapala, which we did the Conference of the Americas a few weeks ago, and tell you a little bit more about what's going on there. Right after we come back from a break, right here on New Thought Media Network.
People of African Descent New Thought Group proudly presents Celebrating Our Soul, Consciously Creating Change at Unity Village, Thursday, August 1st through Sunday, August 4th. Some of our greatest keynote speakers, some of our finest musicians and vocalists, some of our amazing and experienced panelists, and some of our fabulous masterclass presenters will be there for you at Celebrating Our Soul, Consciously Creating Change at Unity Village this summer. Regular registration ends June 30th, so don't delay. Register today at padntg.com. Sponsorship opportunities are available at padntg.com. Volunteer opportunities are available at padntg.com. Go there now, padntg.com. See you there.
Hello, hello, hello. We're back.
I'm Gil.
I'm Robyn, and we are live from New Mexico, Albuquerque. And today we are so excited to bring our guest on. This is Bonnie Gonzalez. And Bonnie is...
Hi, Bonnie. She's smiling.
Hey, how's
I
it
think she's a
going?
jewel of joy. I think
My
that's what
favorite power couple. My favorite power couple. I'll make the audience laugh. I know they look like they're my kids, but it's just the other way around. Those are my parents. They have taught me all the things that I know, bad behavior included. No, they have just loved me up and so supported me on being a host here on New Thought Media Network. So I just want to give thanks to both of them. Just a beautiful power couple. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're so glad to have you here.
Yes.
And the same goes for you, Bonnie. You know that we love you. We love you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, there's so much I could say, but for now, I'm just gonna say Bonnie is amazing. She's not only a grief coach, a grief doula. She is also leading summer solstice ceremonies, and wherever you look, there's Bonnie is. She's got her finger in the pot, so to speak, and so
Get the pot of gold in Ireland, right?
yeah. So you're going to learn more about Bonnie, but that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because when the topic Boldly Go for our theme of the month came up, I was like, damn, that's Bonnie, because you boldly went, I mean, you made different choices after living your life, in the United States for a long time.
Yeah.
And you just picked up and moved to Ireland, and so tell us a little bit about how that happened and what made you do that and all that.
Oh my gosh, Robyn. Oh, that was a time. I think we all have stories from 2020. We have stories that we have not yet unpacked from 2020. And so I was going to say that was my, as Michael Beckwith calls it, our Corona bonus. The Corona bonus allowed me to start living internationally. So I was living in the Bay Area. I was living in a home that I loved. I loved that house, and that house loved me. That's what I say. And I loved it. I had no intentions of going anywhere. And so the owner of the house decided he wanted to sell it, and it's only going to be a little over $1 million. And I thought, at this age, is that what I really want? Is that how I want to spend the rest of my life, being in bed? So it's like, no. And, and I say this, and this isn't even language that I use, but it was 2:00 in the morning. I was getting, I don't know what, out of the closet. What could you be getting out of your closet at 2 in the morning? But anyway, I'm getting something out of my closet and I hear this voice and I say it was the voice of God. And that's not a term that I use. But that voice said, Bonnie, give everything away. Move to Ireland. I have a daughter that lives there. Move to Ireland. You'll be very happy. And I thought, it was one of those voices that I did not argue. There was no argument. It was a voice. And it was just so clear. And Tito, my husband, was sound asleep, and I woke him up and I said, how would you like to live in Ireland? How would you like to first to move to Ireland? And he was like, what? I said, yeah, move to Ireland. And he said, yeah, baby, let's do it. And I don't know
Tito's such a gamer.
Maybe he was sleep talking and maybe he thought I said move down the street. But anyway, he said, let's do it. And my life has not been the same since that time. Even 2020 with what happened with moving to Ireland and living in the Irish countryside during the pandemic. What a gift to be sequestered. It's beautiful surroundings. And so we were there. Then my sister got sick. I came back to the U.S. to help take care of her. And I thought, wow, if she needs me, Ireland is a long plane ride away. I thought, maybe we could just go to Mexico. I had read in a magazine, someone had sent me an article from AARP maybe a couple years before talking about Ajijic, Mexico, that there was this group of African American women living in Ajijic, and they were very happy. Cost of living was just so much less than the U.S. And so, again, I asked, how would you like to go to Mexico? He's like, yeah, let's give it a try. And that's the one move that still takes me by surprise. I had never been here. I didn't know anything about Mexico, but just having, I'll say it this way, I really do feel like there's a divine thread that's in my life, and I trust that.
Well, I think you bring up such a great point, because really, in order to boldly go, generally, the best way is if you're listening, and you heard the voice, you heard the call, you heard the.
This is what you need to do, and you didn't go, no, not interested. No, leave me alone.
Or no, how would that work? How would we do it?
I don't have the money. I can't make that happen. I can't let go of my stuff.
Yeah, you just said yes, and that's a great skill to hone. That's a beautiful learning.
And I will acknowledge, though, that it's great to have a partner that jumps in. We got a dog that way once. So, Robyn asked me, she asked me, could we have this dog? And I just said yes. And she's like, what?
It was a weak moment.
But it's so true. I just want to say about the dog thing and this situation. It out in my head. I already knew the answer was no. We're not getting another dog. We don't need another dog. We have a dog. We have 3 cats. We have But I knew it was our dog. I knew that this dog was supposed to be with us on some level, and so I asked Gil, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, because on the one hand, I was sort of hoping he'd be the voice of reason, and on the other hand, it was exactly what I wanted and needed.
Exactly. And I'll ask you both this question. Have you ever had maybe a decision to make? And I guess I want to tie it into this. I'll frame it this way. That some people have asked me, how do you know when it's your true intuition talking, or how do you know it's just your usual mind chat? Chippa chippa, do this, chippa chippa, no, don't do that. I feel that when it's that voice, the call, there is no argument. It is very clear. It is like, yes, go to Ireland. Yep, Mexico is on the horizon. Yep, I'm going to Chapala Convention. Yep. But then when it's other things, maybe that's not so clear. That it's like, oh, I don't know if I should. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, this is that. That's when I know that that is not my intuition speaking. That is my, I'll say, voice chatter, mind chatter, whatever you want to call it. But just the ongoing voice of that lives in Bonnie's head. But when it is truly that voice of the divine, my intuition, the call, it is very clear. It is
But don't you think that's a learning? Don't you think that's a learning? Like, if I look back in time, I'm clear that I got those messages all of my life, even when I was little. And yeah, I remember when I was little. I mean, I think this is why when I pray or when I do anything, I have so many arguments inside with God, because I would have a discussion, or like when I'm praying with somebody or in a session and it's, I hear ask this question, I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not talking about that. We haven't, and all of a sudden you go, did you have a dog when you were young? And they go, oh my God, or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, but I mean, I think it's something you have to learn, because I mean, I don't know, for me anyway, like, I battled with, well, that's ridiculous, and I think we're so good, especially in this day and age with marketing and all the things that are thrown in our face all the time. We're so good at battling with, no, that's not for me. I'm not this enough or that enough or whatever, or, so I think it's really, it's a talent to really listen and act from that place all the time.
I would add to that as well, Robyn, when you say learn. I use the word aware, the awareness. It's like, wow, when things are truly aligned, and that is what I am going to do, that voice is very strong. When that is the direction that I am to go in, that voice is very clear. So I think it's about just awareness, because I think,
Well,
yes.
it's awareness and trust. It's awareness. We are taught to think. We're taught to rationalize. We think we have to figure out how everything's going to work before we can move in any direction. And oftentimes, we get a message and it's like, okay, I don't know. I mean, we're sitting in a house today because of that, because Robyn said, oh, we need to call them, because basically what she shared with me last night was, the minute I saw it, it was our house. She just knew that.
Yes.
And logically, well, I could spend days logically explaining to you why we shouldn't be here, why we shouldn't have even bothered, why it was silly, all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, Wayne out there said mind of Christ. And I think, if we look at the Christ consciousness as our own, I think that is actually opening up to that place where we just accept the messages coming through. And almost as I mean, I don't know. Well, the image that just came to me is kind of like if you were in the army and the general gave you a command, it's almost as if the word is the law, and going, okay, I don't know. I don't have to understand. I just know that this is mine to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to welcome you. We see you. Good to see you here. So today we're talking about boldly going. And I know there's been so many places you've boldly gone, Bonnie, and one of the places we're going to be together this year is at the Chapala Convention of the Americas.
Yes, Robyn. I want to say one thing before we move to that, because I'm super excited about that. Just back to that trusting that voice, trusting that hearing your call. I was going to say, and also, what do? You feel that you've made a mistake, that was not the right thing. And for me, this is where helps me is that if I can just admit that that wasn't the right thing to have done, and it doesn't appear to be working out the way I thought, to be okay with it, like self-forgiveness, still loving myself through that. Like, wow, poor thing, yeah, I really had different plans or thought it would be a different direction. And I think being okay with that, being okay with whatever that, because there's only a few times that I can look back and think, oh, well, I shouldn't have done that. But to be okay and loving yourself. So
Well, even then, the question is it that I shouldn't have done it? Or, wow, that was different than I expected. And that's not what I thought I was supposed to get out of that.
Exactly.
You
But
know?
I think that sounds like another whole show, right?
I think it does too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, what I was thinking is, and I don't believe in mistakes. So for me, it's like, how could it be a mistake? It's always like, okay, what am I taking away? You know, but again, all of that is a learning on some level, mostly for most people.
And for me, that allows to be bold. I can be bold because if it didn't work
Right.
out, it's okay. It's okay.
Because even if it looks like a mistake, it's okay.
It's
You know, I mean, ultimately you can come to the place of, okay, you know, this, but if you haven't done it, if you haven't followed the call, if you haven't stepped out, we find ourselves stuck in a rut somewhere where we're not trying. We're not moving beyond who we are because we're never stretching.
right.
Yes, and there are no mistakes here today. We are going to talk about Chapala, and as Wayne says, Wayne is the voice of reason today. Love is the creative force of the universe, and we know that this conference is that love, that love personified. So I'm so excited, and I know Shay's out there listening, and I really believe that Shay should be going on this journey with us. I think she should come to Mexico.
I thought Shay was coming to Chapala. I thought I heard that through the grapevine that Shay will be here. So I'll be waiting to meet her, to greet her at the conference.
Right? We already know. We know it. We see it. I know that one of our listeners, John, is also went and got his passport, and he's hoping to come. And so hopefully, I think it's going to be a really great time. But there's some exciting things going on. I know that you're doing a workshop there as well. But tell us a little bit about why you love this conference. What's great about it for you?
Oh, wow. Oh, I don't even know where to begin. It's one of those experiences that just satisfies me on all mind, body, and spirit. I get the advantage, of course, of living here in Chapala, right at the lake. But when I go to the Monte Carlo Hotel and I'm there in that environment, it's as if I see my daily environment with a new lens. With so many, with people coming, it's suddenly just, it's more energized. I am more energized. Getting to explain to people, oh, that part of the lake, that's what's happening there, and this is happening around there, around, different parts of the lake. It just brings me alive. And when I'm alive, it's contagious. As you know, we're all just little energetic beings. And whoever you're with, that energy can definitely.
Yeah, I have to say that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. I think we have a delay. I think that's why I keep interrupting you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rude, but I think so. I was just going to say, I've only been to the conference via Zoom during the pandemic. But even in that Zoom meeting, you could feel that energy. You could definitely feel that energy, that connection, and that, I don't know. It's almost, I want to say, it's as if the conference is an ambassador of love to the planet. Like, you can feel people are anchored in that space. And for me personally, as I hate to divide myself, but as partially Latina, I think I think, I mean, I feel such pride in that moment of sharing that that is genuine to the culture. You know,
Yeah.
that space of love and creativity and artisanship and magic
And connection. Deep, a soul abiding connection. And Robyn, what I want to say that really captivates me and really allows me to look forward to it. I'm sure you've both gone to conventions that you sit and listen, you're in the audience and you're listening and yes, and applauding, and the speaker walks away and turn and talk to your neighbor. But there, it's like it's interactive. It's experiential. It's right there. The speaker is right there. They're not up on a stage away from you. They're right there in the same room, on the same level. When that talk ends, you're engaging with them. You're engaging with the speaker, with the people that's there. And we do, it's such a beautiful experience because it is here in Mexico. The language of the country is Spanish, and it's a simultaneous translation that's going on. So even people that have, you know, what we call differences because of language are able to bond without that being any type of a barrier. If anything, it connects people even more. We truly are one, regardless of what language we're speaking. I always say we all speak the same language anyway, and it's all unspoken. It's all that language of the heart. So that's what
So
really makes me going for this people.
so we're all one in terms of language. There's only one with many expressions.
I love that.
It just hit me. It's related to the way we talk about people and the way we talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
It makes sense. It's just a different individualization of the one.
yes. So that's the part that really gets me so excited to participate in the conference. That just coming together as one. People are just. I was going to say people are on their best behavior, but that doesn't sound so encouraging, does it? But I'm just saying people really are just in a good space. And I'm sure that's their normal behavior anyway. But that's just what came to mind. Everybody's on their best behavior.
Yeah.
And if you are in the Centers for Spiritual Living community, and you know some of the names that you see in the magazines, and the Reverend Sonny, Reverend Dr. Sonny, Reverend Dr. Trish, and those names that you always see in the magazines. I have a tendency sometimes to think they're a little bit up on a pedestal, but when they come to this conference, you realize they are just individuals, just like you and I. That I could be the president of CSL. I could be the CEO. That we all are the same. We all are the same. They're human beings, and we just really come together in fellowship in a loving and creative way. So,
And I think some of that too, I think I mean, for me, there's a magicalness of Mexico. You know, I used to travel there often and I had family there. I went to college there. But there's something, I can't explain it. There's something different when you step onto the soil and you're just surrounded by people, you know, of the culture and stuff. And not that, you know, when you step onto the soil for the first time, it's like anywhere else. It's a busy, crowded airport. You walk outside, there's some smog. It's not that you go, oh, this is beautiful right away. It's not that, but it supersedes that, you know, and it's just a magical experience. Yeah. So I was going to ask about your workshop that you're doing there.
oh my goodness, I am presenting Soul Collage. And if you have not done Soul Collage before, well, we'll talk, Robyn. We have something planned prior to the convention. But so I'll be presenting Soul Collage. And Soul Collage is an intuitive process that allows you to really make your personal transformation. soul collage it's an easy process, but so profoundly rich indeed. And it just consists of the three magical eyes: intuition, imagination, and images. Because images allow us to access our words, emotions, thoughts, feelings that we just didn't sit and breathe into and have these, wonderful things come up or difficult things come up. Images really allow our intuition to speak. You'll be surprised how an image gives your intuition a voice. And that's the fun part, is that we sit and just make beautiful small collage cards together. And then we journal together. That's where the magic of soul collage happens. When that image tells you what's going on inside of you. And images even have a way of predicting our future. But I don't want to give too much away. I want you to come to the workshop and see all the beauty that unfolds. So that's the workshop that I will be presenting. And it's been really well received. I presented it twice before. A couple of people have said, "Oh, I'm looking forward to being in the Soul Collage workshop." And Robyn, this is the first time I'm seeing the flyer for the convention. Your light is my light. So thank you.
That's the website.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to add. I mean, your workshop sounds great, and I've done soul collage, and it is an amazing process. And I know there's other workshops going on as well. And I want to backtrack for a minute, because I want to talk about, as I said earlier, Teresa Valenzuela is not here with us today.
Yes.
However, I know that she has been heading up something for the conference, and I'm going to speak to it from my perspective, because I could be off. But what she's been doing is working on the lanyards for the name tags, and they're, instead of it just being a lanyard, it's a beautiful beaded lanyard that a group of people from Mexico that do this are making. So I just want to say that the conference is also bringing in the community and reaching out and giving back. And that's such an important thing. So I just think it's so beautiful the way that it's, come about. And I know that, she's gone like every year that it's been, like 7 years or something. And so I wish she had been here to talk a little bit more about that, because I'm sure she's seen it grow and over the years. And, we know that it's growing. We know that it's growing now. And yes, Bonnie and I are going to be doing a little retreat prior to the start of the conference. And it will be arriving, depending upon what you choose, arriving on a Friday or Saturday night. We're going to have an all-day workshop on Saturday that will include some soul collaging, but it'll be mingled with writing and telling your story and getting the words out on paper, and really, a deep dive, a deep process into discovering what your soul's desire is, not just, putting it on a vision board or a card and not looking at it again, but really being with it. And that's the way I've found soul collage to be, is it's different than a vision board. Whether you cut the picture out of a magazine or what you do, it just brings a different part of you awake and alive. And so we're going to be doing that, and there's going to be some food involved and some great music and all kinds of things that we'll be telling you about soon, maybe probably next week. But we definitely want you to join us. And I'm trying to get Bonnie to add us in on these spa days. There's an amazing spa there as well, right?
Yes, San Juan Cosila. There are thermal hot springs there, and the spas are just, there's one spa that I love that's in particular, and that's offered as one of the excursions for people. I think there's a free day normally in the middle of the conference. Maybe that Thursday is a free day, and there's some excursions that are offered. And I know that the thermal baths are one which I really highly recommend. Very peaceful and beautiful setting. And the spa has different jacuzzis that are, they're all therapeutic. They have one jacuzzi that's lavender, another is rosemary, mineral oils, hibiscus, coffee. There's a vino, there's a wine, and they even serve you wine when you're in that particular jacuzzi. There's oatmeal. Like it's hard to leave. We'll have to come and collect you to get you to come back to the conference. It's just, it is a day of really talk about self-pamper and self-love. Just a time for you to continue to go within and just absorb all that's going on.
So help me, correct me if I'm wrong, but my sense about this is sometimes when I see this kind of a thing, I'm thinking this is a conference, it's an out-of-country conference based on the US, if you will, based on people from here creating a conference somewhere else that's going to be beautiful, et cetera. And I think this conference includes a lot of input from around the world, really, but particularly between Latin America and North America, kind of thing. There's a lot of crossover in terms of leadership and what's presented and the kinds of things that one might experience.
Right, and I'm so glad you said that, because I've gone to other conventions, and this definitely has a different feel as an American going to a convention. It definitely has a different feel. And not to do any type of comparison, apples and oranges, you can't compare. American conventions are American conventions. Here, for me, it's I think we've said it before, heart and soul really comes through. And you get the vibe, the feeling of the culture. It seeps into this convention because there's so many people in Latin America that are participating in the creation of this convention. So that comes through, that flavor comes through.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of New Thought Media people will be there. Actually, Reverend Robert is coming. Lara Brzezinski is coming. Gil and I are going. You'll be there. Emma from the morning
Emma, yes.
shows. There's a lot of New Thought Media, and we're actually talking about having a little, meet and greet and cocktail hour with us all, and just get to know some of our listeners, because I know there'll be some there. So, there's a lot of fun things to look forward to. And I mean, so much more that we didn't even touch on, but it's just, even if you go to the website and just check it out and look at what's there. Can you pop the website address up there, Michael?
What I wanted
go
to
ahead.
add, I think we do have a delay, because I'm kind of like, did I get that part? What I was going to say, I think that this convention of the Americas has influenced New Thought Media. You can see now that New Thought Media is now a bilingual platform. With Emma starting Emma started with her program that was in Espanol, and now they have prayers in Spanish. So I feel that this convention of the Americas is truly having its effect on
it is
North America,
yeah,
international. This convention has,
I would agree with you, and I would add to that when I was at convention in January or February, I had a conversation with leadership, with Dr. Sunny and the rest of them, Reverend Michelle and Reverend Alice, just asking the question, if we're a global organization, why isn't this conference part of one of our conferences? Why are we not, going out and claiming these things as our own? And And they were very responsive to that. And they were like, yeah, it's definitely on the table to talk about and think about. And so, I mean, my hope is that really it will be one of our, next conferences locations, even if it's not at that exact location, but that we're thinking like that globally.
Yes, yes, and it is growing, so it may not always be here in Chapala. So come while
Right.
it's in Chapala.
Yeah. So come while it's small and intimate, and you have us in this
Yes.
configuration.
And you
Yes,
did-
Bonnie, thank you so much. It's great to have you here as
Oh,
always.
thank you. Oh my gosh. You mean it's time to go? Parting in
It's-
such sweet sorrow, as Shakespeare would say. You're going to have to drag me away, clawing and hanging on. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And just want you to know that I am here for both you and Gil. So just want you to know that. But I'm here.
Thank
for
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. And the feeling is mutual. And as we leave, as we go, I just want to answer, Wayne had a question in there about why would I want to visit a third world country, or why would I visit a third world country? And I would say, why would you not? If we're truly all one and it's all about the love and all of that, then we can't keep othering other places. And as someone in Canada would know, we should know, if we're calling it the other place or the third world country or any of those things, maybe it's time to explore, because it's a beautiful country and there's only one world, no matter how you slice it. So we're just sending blessings out to all of the worlds, all of anything that's perceived to be other, knowing that there's only one and that we rock the love that way. So I want to thank you for joining us and for rocking the love continuously in your weeks, because you guys are doing a great job, clearly, by all the good things going on in the world. And we're just so honored to have you. And Shay, get that passport together, and we will see you all next week.
Oh, I thought we're going to see him in Mexico. I was already excited.
And hopefully in Chapala. Okay, everybody, keep on rocking the love. Think about us on Friday night. Yay.